Back in the coffee shop, Keith has questions about what really goes on in the oil sands. His friend Rita works for the Alberta Energy Regulator, which has years of experience making sure that all oil and gas development activity is safe and meets all regulatory and environmental requirements, including the development of Alberta's oil sands. The first question Keith has is, what exactly are oil sands? Rita explains that oil sands are a mixture of sand, clay, water, and oil. But the oil is naturally extra heavy and doesn't flow under normal conditions. This extra heavy oil is called bitumen. Think of a grain of sand surrounded by layers of water. Oil is trapped in between the grains of sand. Separating this oil from the sand is difficult and has only recently been made possible due to innovation and technology. Once the oil is separated, it can be used to make many products, such as ballpoint pens, rubber boots, erasers, tires, and gasoline. Keith comments that Canada seems to have a lot of oil sands, and he's right. Canada's oil sands are among the largest deposits of oil in the world, and almost all of it is found in the boreal forest of northern Alberta. Rita describes a boreal forest that stretches across Canada. In fact, more than half of Alberta is covered by it. Rita shows Keith where the oil sands are in northern Alberta and points out where operators are allowed to mine. Only about 5% of the land with oil sands underground is close enough to the surface to be mined. That leaves a lot of oil too deep to mine. Companies have developed technology to drill down to recover this oil. This approach is called in situ recovery, in situ being Latin for in place. Keith points out, drilling for oil sands is starting to sound a lot more complicated. Rita agrees. In situ recovery is a relatively new and innovative technology, but the history of oil sands goes back hundreds of years. Long before it was identified as an energy resource, First Nations used oil sands as a material to waterproof their canoes, and the first oil sands developers used it to pave roads. We've learned a lot since the first commercial development in 1967. Today, technology and innovation continue to improve the ways oil sands are recovered and minimize the impacts of development on the environment. Whether oil sands are recovered through mining or drilling, the Alberta Energy Regulator makes sure that the activity is safe, the rules are followed, and that the environment is protected. Keith now knows the basics of oil sands and is ready to understand more. So what about mining? For more conversations that matter, click on one of the links below or check out the Alberta Energy Regulator at aer.ca.